Welcome back to EngineCraft. Today we're working on the Honda Metropolitan 2 again. I called the guy that dropped this off and he decided to move forward with the stator replacement. The reason people are kind of hesitant on replacing the stator is because the OEM one specifically for this is $320. I did end up finding one for that price, unfortunately. But, so all we gotta do is get in here, and we gotta remove this cover here. Behind that's the radiator. We have to get that off, and then we can take the case off from there. Here is the OEM stator here. Got a few connections here. I think this is the igniter. So let's get over to here and start taking this apart. So one viewer did remind me, and I was wrong in not using it on some previous other machines, but anything that comes out of Japan is most likely going to be a JIS screwdriver, which this one is. You can't really read it there, but it says made in Japan. It says 1x75H. So on 90% of these Japanese machines, all these fasteners are going to be JIH. I mean, there's a lot of fasteners on here that are probably not for this. All right, let's get this cover off. Oh, it's a little broken. Oof. That radiator needs to be blown out a bit. All right, so what I should probably do is drain this, and then I have to fill it again, but I mean, it is what it is. Let's see if I can. Oh, we have to get some vice grips on those. Leaking oil. Trying to be gentle with this because this is plastic. This is the lowest point in the system, so this should all drain out of here. Now let's take the cap off so it'll drain faster. There we go. There's probably not a whole lot in there. No, and that stuff was pretty grimy as is. So once we get this all out, we can start disconnecting some of the lines. Looks like one big line here. There's one big line there. There we go. Alright, now we have screws to take out this radiator. It looks like one. Some of these I can't really even see. Like a bolt here, a bolt there, a bolt here. Which I'm not going to be able to get to unless I take... So I got to take most of this stuff off. So I'll spare you the agonizing work of getting this off. So I'll bring you back in once I get these plastics off, and then we'll get back into getting this grimy radiator out. Alright, so I got the plastic out of the way, and there's 4 bolts. Oh, come on. One here, one on the opposite side, and then 2 underneath. There are 8mm bolts, and now we should be able to disconnect the 2 two lines that are holding on and are connected to the radiator up top here. So let's get those slid back. The other one off. We should, after this, be able to pull off the radiator. Get some decent players around here. Here they are. Alright, so the lines are disconnected. We're still hung up somewhere. Nope, there we go. Oh, looks like this tube was what was holding it up. I'm gonna go blow out this radiator really quick because it's pretty grimy. Alright, so that is all blown off. You can see there. Looks a little bit cleaner. Alright, so then we got 3 nuts that are holding on this little flywheel here. So let's get those out of there. Let's move you guys so you can see better. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. That's right where I wanted it to go. It appears this nut is 17 millimeter. Let's get this one. All right, we should be good now. Doesn't sit on here as good as I'd like it to. What broke? Oh, did this break free? Did. It broke free. All right. There we have it. There's the stator. And it looks like we have some broken winding in here, and this could have been the whole failure all along. So let's get this. Oh man, it won't focus. Yeah, you see it right here. Everything else doesn't look too bad, but we'll get that out there and replace it with the new one. There's 3 bolts in here. Which may not come out. That one's loose. That one's loose. That one's loose. All right, now we can switch back to the drill, zip these out. Whoops. All right. What else is holding this stator on? Nothing much of anything. There's 2 bolts down here we got to take out. Well, what's happening here? Oh, this thing is chewed up. There's 1. There's 2. Alright, and then let's see what else. Got a little bit of something holding something on here. One free. All right, the stator's out after fighting with the cords and everything else, and it's time to get the replacement one. I just got to blow this out to make sure it's all clean, and then we should be good to get the other one in. All right, the next step is... So here's one very, very important step. This keyway in here needs to line up with the keyway on the crankshaft. The reason for that is this little... like that raised part, that is the igniter. If this is not in the correct place, your timing is going to be way off. And you don't want that. That should be it there. I hope. Doesn't feel like it's lined up. Crankshaft is right there. Yep. All right. So that's when we get our big washer and our nut. All right, from here, zip her down. All right, we should be good there. Next thing we got to do is plug our wiring in. So I ran the wire already, which was not fun. Is that the right way? Yeah. Plug that connection in. Plug this connection in. All right, it's time to start getting everything back together. So next thing we got to do is put the fan on. It's these bolts here. Alright, so I got that all back together. Now it's time to put some coolant in it. This is the only stuff that I got, so that's what we're using, even though it's expensive. I'm just gonna sit here and try to fill this up. Now we're gonna start it without this, so it gets a lot of the air out. Oh. Got to put the plug in the bottom. Not smart. That didn't take much to fill that. Alright, so as far as the Honda Metro goes, I mean, there's not much I could really do for it. I replaced the stator. It's still not charging, so I've pretty much narrowed it down to the ECU, which is back here. And unfortunately, those are like unobtainium, yet they're super hard to find. And when you do, they're extremely expensive. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get this running, but at least, you know, if you guys needed to replace your stator, at least there's a little bit of information there. And then that's really going to do it for today, guys. I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I'll have something else that, you know, doesn't have as many issues. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.